start recording. In the morning, we have discussed about the problem which this telecom operator was facing. They have done some marketing survey, some marketing, some new advertising, because of which their sales has increased, basically. Instead of 2,000 new connections, they had started receiving 3,500 new connections. Because of this, in order to cater to this demand, they have increased the number of operators from 40 to 80, assuming that they'll be able to address this additional demand. But it backfired. The number of defects have increased and their processing time also has increased, thereby impacting the customer satisfaction. So the team thought, management team, let us start a Six Sigma project on this. And you were assigned a project leader, assume. So when you speak with when you speak in the interviews, they'll ask you explain about a project that you have worked on. So this is how you'll have to structure it. So you have to say that I was a Six Sigma consultant on the project, and I have first decided on who are the resources I require for this Six Sigma project. So you decide on those resources who are required. You come up with what is a budget that has to be allocated towards your technology upgradation, right? But there is a condition. Management says, or you expect not to lose more than $800 per day on rework and penalties. You tell to the management that if we implement the Six Sigma project, instead of losing 3,750, you'll be losing only $800 per day. Management will be happy, but they'll say you, or they'll ask you to actually extrapolate it for 1 year and tell what are the savings that are going to be. In this case, they have asked for 180 working days. Not 180 days, 180 working days. Probably 20 days in a month is what you work. Right? So that will take you close to 9 months or so. So in order to first output or deliverable of the defined phase is project charter. This is the first thing that you have to come up with. So you have to say that I have understood the problem. I have come up with the financial benefit that I could bring about by implementing Six Sigma. I have identified the critical to quality metrics and what is the goal that I wish to achieve. And that is when you take them and this is how you basically calculate entire thing, right? Project champion takes 40 hours at the rate of 120 per hour. So you multiply these two, you get $4,800. So you say that I require $4,800 in order to have project champion on my team. You will say I would be working for 184 hours and my hourly billing is $45 per hour. That will take the count to 80 to 80. Now this is a solution actually. Elaborated solution is in the Excel sheet. You need to just pick this number and put it here, financial benefit. In project leader, you have to put your name. So that is why, these things are not filled in. But the solution is actually provided here. So if you sum up the entire cost of the team, it's coming up to 34,720, which is the project resource cost. Technology cost, you're telling that in order to use Minitab or some license. And one more thing, our tool, which is open source, it is free if an individual uses. If it is used for a company for enterprise purposes, then you will have to still pay the license, which will be far less than your Minitab or SAS or SPSS or whatever be it, right? So you say that I asked $50,000 because we had to use Minitab for the corporate or enterprise purpose. And just explore on that front also. What is a Minitab license cost? For enterprise, I think it will be close to $2,000 odd. You need to explore that because they test you on that also in interviews. If you say that towards technology, they'll ask you what technology. Then you have to say that, what, they did not have their management information system, so we wanted to set up one. They did not have a statistical tool to analyze, so we had to accommodate for that, right? They had to create an email account for me because it was a restricted area, telecom information, everything, the number of phone calls, etc., etc. The customer details is very sensitive, so they did not want me to send the data to my personal email ID and work on that. Hence, they had to create an email account for you. I'm just giving you a scenario on how you have to present your case in the interview. So you will say that they have opened Microsoft Outlook license. They have taken one license, additional license. They have given it to me to use email, corporate email. So these, for all these things, technology cost would be there, some amount, sort of ballpark figure. And also you can say that I've performed, a number of projects. So over a period of time, I understand how much it costs. Approximately $50,000 is what it costs. My statistical tool, email, and if at all I require any additional software to be procured to streamline their things, $50,000 is a reasonable amount. Then the total cost would be what? Project resource cost and this technology cost, which is coming up to 84720. But remember one thing, the current loss is $675,000. How am I arriving at that? How did I get that? Any guesses, Anuj? Oh my God. Any guesses on how did we arrive on this? Okay. So let me take you to this scenario. I'm losing how many dollars? $3,750 each day on rework. And management wants me to calculate for 180 days. So here it is given, right? 3750 multiplied by 180, it brings the amount to here. But after implementing your Six Sigma project, you are claiming that the expected loss will not be more than $800 per day on rework and penalties. So for the same, I mean, you're telling it will not be greater than 800. So you're taking the maximum limit, that's 800. You're multiplying it by number of days 180. Hence you're getting this number. So total loss minus the current thing will be your post project savings. Though you have implemented, you're not telling that it will come to zero. Your rework will become zero. You're not mentioning that. You're realistically telling that instead of 3,750, it will come down to 800. So the difference is the savings. So these savings minus this amount, because this is the amount that you're spending in implementing the project for the improvement. So savings minus this operational expenses will give your net savings or the financial benefit. So you simply pick up this number 446280, you put it here in the business impact or financial benefits. Remember, whenever you're mentioning about dollars, it is called as hard benefits. Hard benefits means benefits that you can feel. Dollars, immediately you can feel that. There are also soft benefits. You can say that quality of the product has increased, right? Because or activation time got reduced significantly. Thereby customer satisfaction has increased. Can you measure customer satisfaction? No. Though there are some techniques on giving a scale of 1 to 5 and asking them to measure, it is not quantitative, it's qualitative. So that is a soft benefit. Brand image of the company has increased in the market. Apple has a very good brand. Google has a very good brand. Why? How can you say so? Just like that, right? Based on people perception. So those are the soft benefits. You have to mention that. And what is critical to quality? If you see here, there are two challenges that we are facing. One is the rework and penalties has increased significantly. So the defect percentage has to come down somehow. And the activation time also has to come down because connection activation time also has taken a hit. So if you ask me the CTQs, these will be the two CTQs. I want to reduce the processing time. My goal is less than 48 hours. In 48 hours, I want to activate a connection. And I want to reduce the number of defects to less than 10%. That is a goal that is mentioned in the problem statement. If you go here, if you see, connection activation should happen within 48 hours. And the percentage of defects, the acceptance level is 10%. Yeah. So that is how I came up with those two things you just mentioned here, metrics and goals. Your job is done. project charter is ready. Send it to your sponsor, because your sponsor is a person who's going to fund for the project. He is the person who will give you the resources. He is the person who will give you money if you need additional amount, etc. And one more thing, project charter is not something that is written on stone. Today you might say, I'll be saving how many dollars? 446280. But over a period of time, it might change. Maybe this is before you start the project, a ballpark figure. Plus or minus 50% is also acceptable. Tomorrow, if I say that instead of 446, I'll be able to save you only 250K, still okay. Plus or minus 50% is fine. Right? So that is how you'll have to progress. Or it might be on the extreme side also. You told 446. Probably you will save them $750,000. You don't know. It's the initial stage, right? Your accuracy may not be very good, right? So you have those limits, plus or minus 50%. All right. Project leader wants to clearly define the CTQs before carrying out MSA. So what is the first CTQ? It's mentioned here. Reduction in processing time and reduction in defect percentage. Now, what is the data type? Reduction in processing time. What is the data type? Is it continuous or discrete? Yeah, Anuj? Is reduction in processing? Absolutely. Reduction in percentage defects? Same. If it's percentage, it might be continuous. All right. Defects are, by the way, discrete, but percentage defects, unit of measure, yeah, continuous. So processing time. So unit of measure is time in hours. Within 48 hours you want to do. Unit of measure for the second CTQ, that is reduction in percentage defects, is percentage. You provide an operational definition. What is operational definition? How do you measure it? What is the start and stop? For example, reduction in processing time. What is the start of the processing time? I receiving, it's here. I receiving the CAF, that is customer application form, right? And what is the end? End is the connection activation. So that is a start and end. So in this way, you have to define your start and end for your CTQs. And then you also mention LSL and USL and the target. Question to you. Do we have any LSL in our problem? So let me take you here. Do we have any LSL here? What is a LSL? LSL is lower specification limit, right? Suppose I draw in this way. This is my LSL. And this is my USL. Right? So if I'm telling less than 48 hours, I'm mentioning only one side. Less than 48 hours is less than this. But I'm not mentioning the lower goal. So you can mention in this way. You know, you might only have LSL or you might only have USL. Right? Even for percentage reduction in defects, less than 10%. Because less than 10%, anything is a good thing. Less than 48 hours, anything is a good thing for me. Probably LSL can be at 0 hours also. So the moment customer applies online, clicks on submit button, that's it. His account is activated. His connection is activated. It can happen in that way also. So I'm not putting any constraints as such in that. Right? In this way, you can also have only LSL. What is only LSL? Can you give me any example? I have only LSL, I do not have USL. Can you think about any example? If I want to increase the profits of your company, do you put any upper limit saying that I don't want more than 1 lakh rupees? Right? You put a lower limit. You'll say that my profit should be minimum 26% or minimum 37%. So this is your LSL. Above this, anything is good for me. So I'll not put any constraints as such. So your specification limits can be one-sided also. Oh, sorry. I'll have to select the arrow now. And then the target. Target is 48 and 10%. Now that you have the details in place, project leader logically validates the measurement system to capture connection activation time. However, for defect percentage, he or she would like to carry out attribute agreement analysis to assess the measurement system. So what is logical validation? Wherever you cannot perform gauge RNR or attribute agreement analysis, that is where you do a logical validation. That means you just logically conclude. You logically just check. Okay, do you have an automated system? Yes, I have an automated system. And the time is entering the customer application form details in the database. That is my start time. So it's anyways recorded in the system. So I need not measure it separately because timestamp is there the moment I enter the details. What is the end time? Connection activation. Connection activation details also are captured in a system somewhere, in some information system, right? In some electronic, in some system which is which captures all these details without any human intervention, basically. So it also captures the timestamp details. So why do I need to actually measure it? Makes sense. However, for defect percentage, there is a human element involved. Humans are actually evaluating your software, your, let me take your quality professionals. Where is that? Yeah, here it is. 3 quality supervisors, 15 quality assessors. They are humans. They might do mistakes. So whatever they are doing, are they doing correctly? Are the percentage defects captured by them correct or not? Right, for that I can do measurement system analysis. So here it is, measurement system analysis. Have the details. How many? Each appraiser is doing 2 trials, and we have a quality supervisor also. We are taking his data as the expert data, and we have all these details. So let me copy it to Minitab. Let me open the Minitab file. All right, Minitab file is opened. Let me paste the details here. Good. So wherever the application form details are wrong, it'll be defective, otherwise it's good. So I'll have to perform attribute agreement analysis now. Quality tools, attribute agreement analysis. I have data in multiple columns from appraiser 1 till appraiser 3. How many appraisers do I have? Anuj, can you tell me how many appraisers we have? 3. Perfect. How many trials are being conducted? 2. Is there any expert, known standard or attribute against which we are measuring their performance? Yeah, is there any expert? Absolutely. Quality inspector, quality supervisor. That is the name given here actually. There is audited by 3 quality supervisors. So quality supervisor means over a period of time he might have gained umpteen number of experience. He is the expert basically, right? And his details are provided in this correct, this column called correct. Right? Clear, right, Anush? Yep. So I click on OK. Okay, I can either see in the graph or I can, sorry, not here. I can go here and see. Okay, let me look into within appraiser. Greater than 90% is a good indication, right? Anytime. And here if you see it's 88.89, close to 90. This is already greater than 90 and this is greater than 90. So you need not worry much on this front. Within appraiser means, is it repeatability or reproducibility? Within appraisers is called as repeatability. Okay, just remember repeatability. These things are very important. Between appraisers is reproducibility. It is 77.78. Greater than 90 is good indication. Greater than 70 and less than 90 is you can cautiously accept the measurement system. Though there is some improvement required, you can cautiously accept that. Each appraiser versus standard is called as individual accuracy. And if you see the values are more or less close to 90 or greater than 90, right? It's a good indication only. All appraisers versus standard is team accuracy. It is 77.78, which is approximately 80%, right? 78, 80%. You need not worry much. Things are good, kind of, right? So if you see the flake upper statistics also, it's close to 0.9 here. 0.9 means it's a good indication. Okay, flake upper statistics and all that. So basically you have looked into the normal percentage and also you have looked into flake upper statistic. Everything is hunky-dory, things are good. You say that I accept the measurement system. Let us proceed further. So you put down the values of repeatability for appraiser 1, 2, 3, accuracy, reproducibility and team accuracy values you just enter here. You enter from the mini tab. It's pretty simple, right? For example, 77.78% is all appraisers versus standard, which is team accuracy. So team accuracy, here you'll put that value. You'll put the value 77.78 here in team accuracy. Reproducibility, as I've told you, it's between between appraisers. Oh, sorry, each appraiser. Where is that? Yeah, it's no. Between appraisers is reproducibility 77.78. Again, you enter those values here, and repeatability, accuracy details you enter here. Repeatability and accuracy is given here. Each appraiser versus standard is individual accuracy. Within appraisers is your repeatability. You enter those values here. Again, we are in the measure phase still. Project leader randomly selects a sample of 200 from 20,000 custom application forms. The sample was audited to check the number of defects in each form and connection activation time for each one. The data is collected in one Excel sheet. The project leader wants to find sigma level to assess the current performance and also baseline for comparison post-project. So you're telling you're implementing Six Sigma. Your aim is to achieve Six Sigma. But what is the sigma level at which your current process is? Right? You are aiming to earn more salary in Australia after doing this program. But what is your salary as of now? You need to baseline that. Only if you know what is your salary now, you can say that, okay, I have done these programs because of which my salary has increased. So in order to make such statements, you need to know what is your current performance. Right, so it's available in master data sheet. So I'm going to the master data sheet here. So the details are provided here. processing time, and the number of defects. So sorry for my bad throat. So 200 application forms out of 20,000 are selected. You want ZLT and ZST for the CTQ. What is the first CTQ? First CTQ is, remember, activation time, connection activation time, right? It is continuous data, right? So what you have to do here is you have to open your sigma level calculator. Let me do that. I'm assuming you are aware of sigma level calculator and you remember these things. Yeah. Sigma level calculator is used to, calculate your CP, CPK values and also yield. What happened? Is it not opening up? It's coming up. Here it is. Good. So CP, CPK values, how do we calculate it, and all those details are provided here. But okay. So now we have only USL, which is 48 hours, which is provided in the data. We need to find out the mean and standard deviation for this data. Formula for mean is average in Excel. I select everything. What happened? Where is the value? It's 38.42. So let me enter here. The mean of the data is 38.42. What is the standard deviation? Standard deviation of these values. Shift control and the end key will take here. It's a shortcut. So it's 8.425. 8.425. It should calculate now. Sigma long term is 1.14. Sigma short term is, or ZLT is 1.14. And ZST is 2.64. What are you asking, Anuj? How did I get standard deviation? Okay. There's a simple formula here. It's there. Is equal to STD-EV. Standard deviation, yeah? Is equal to STD-EV. And open the bracket, select all the data points. Yeah, okay. I'll just mention here so that it's easy for you when I send this file. Mean, standard deviation, mention clearly, mean of processing time and standard deviation of processing time. Yeah, you'll be easily able to relate to that. Perfect. So where is this? So we got that ZLT and ZST for first CTQ. What is the second CTQ and percentage of defects? Percentage defects. Sorry. I'm speaking about defects, right? So it's discrete or attribute data. How many defects are there? I need to again put count of defects. So here is the formula for just counting it. What is it that I'm, oh my God, I have done a mistake. I'm counting number of defects, which is, okay, my bad. So it's 200. So I'll put sum of defects is equal to sum of, what happened to this? How do we, So the sum of defects is 336. And if you go here, OFE is known here, right? OFE, opportunity for error. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 opportunities for error. One is title and gender, second thing is name, address is the third, date, ID proof is fourth, reseller code 5, and email address, sorry, 6 and 7. So I have 6 OFE, right? So if I want to know the total opportunity for error, it will be OFE multiplied by the sum of defects. Basically, manual way of calculating. If you want, you can calculate in this way also. Or just pick up this OFE, which is 6. Oh, not 6, 8, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why am I getting 6 always? Okay, 7. 7 and the sum of defects is 336. And sample is 200, right? 200 defects is what? What is the count? 336 and 7. ZLT and ZST is known even for this now. Simply put, if I simply put the values here, 0.71, 2.21. So I'll go to the Excel sheet. I'll fill these details also for the second CTQ. Then analyze. Analyze anyways they have put this, given this, what do you call, fishbone diagram already. The task force brainstormed. I mean, who is the task force here? Your entire team that you have selected, Anuj. If I go here, you have selected a project champion, project leader, coordinator, quality supervisor, analyst, process consultant, technical support, MS support. So all these are your task force. So the task force team has brainstormed to identify the causes of the defects and plotted it on the Ishikawa diagram. So number of defects in customer application form. You have mentioned all the OFE here, basically ID proof, date, address, email ID, title, name. Why is it going wrong? Basically, you brainstormed, you found out various reasons because of training, incorrect entry, wrong format, all those things. Right? The project leader has also collected the type of defects found in each form and collated it in an Excel sheet. What are the vital defects that should be reduced to have maximum impact on cost of rework? So let me go to this case study data before improvement defect occurrence sheet. So you tell me, Anuj, how do you basically identify? How do you basically identify on what is it that is of high importance to you? So I have defects in customer application form, right? So these are the various defects that are identified. If I'm not mistaken, there should be 200. Oh, more than that. So how many did they select? They've got 336 defects. Yes, absolutely. That is what I have also written here. 336 are the number of defects. So out of those 336 defects, they've classified how many are email related, how many are date related and all that. I need to come up with the frequency of each and everything. So I'll just do in a layman format. Let me put a filter on this. Layman terms, how do you actually calculate? I can do a simple pivot otherwise. Are you aware of the pivot chart, Anuj? You're not aware of the pivot chart in Excel. So let me show it. You need to go to insert option pivot. Anyways, this will be recorded, so it'll be easy for you. Don't worry. I want to create a pivot table in the new sheet. I want to bring in the defects in this. I want to put the summation of defects here. So here I come to know, simply put, right, what are the total number of defects? Okay, I've done a pivot basically. Easy way to find out. See, what is happening is in one row A, all the entries are mentioned, defect details. Here there is one title, here there is title 2, 3, 4. You know, if you want, you can calculate in that way, number of defects related title. But there are 336, it will be very time consuming. Hence I've done a simple pivot, and which has given me this count. It automatically calculates and says that 39 defects are because title is missing. Now suppose this is the data that I have. What am I expected to do? I am expected to identify the critical inputs. Out of these many inputs which are causing the defects, I want to find out what are those which are very critical. So what I do is let me copy this. I'll tell you how we do this actually. So let me go to defect occurrence sheet. I'll put here. So 98 defects are because of date. So I'll put here 98. And title 39. I'm getting 39 from here. Name is missing in 17 entries. Residence address is missing in 59. ID proof number is missing in 26. 98 date. Reseller code 31. Email address is missing for 66 folks. Right? But I also need to look into the cost of each occurrence. How much is it costing? So let me delete this. I want the total cost for each defect. How do we calculate the total cost? I simply multiply the frequency by the cost. I get this. I simply drag it, it will calculate for all the other cells. So I got the cost. Let me put it in this format. Perfect, job done. So now what I have to do is, I have to identify the critical types of defects. So I'll copy entire thing. I'll put it in the mini tab. Let me open a new worksheet. How do I open a new worksheet? Control N. Simply press Control N. It will ask you to open a new project or a worksheet. I open the worksheet. Remember Pareto chart? Sorry. Do you remember Pareto chart, Anuj? My bad. So why do you use Pareto chart for? We use it to identify the critical things. Okay. Anyways, the defect data is in frequencies. Then the frequency details are in the types of defects, which is not appearing unfortunately. I think I need to put the types of defects here. And then I click on OK. Yeah, clearly it is plotting. Where am I getting 80%? Somewhere here. So the critical inputs for me are date, email address, residential address, and title. If I address these four, majority of the issues are addressed. Right, so I just simply go back. I'll say that using Pareto, I have identified the critical inputs. These are the four inputs: date, email ID, residential address, and title, which are critical inputs for me. Now, project leader also wants to find out whether the potential X's are critical or not. He wants to figure whether these inputs really affect the connection activation time. So he collected data for all the potential inputs. So where is that available? Data for tests in the Excel sheet. Let me go to that data for tests. So they have put all those things, correct name, correct email IDs, ID proof. Okay. So this is basically the activation time. because of incorrect, if correct title would have been there, what would have happened? Because of incorrect title, what happened to the activation time? So those details are mentioned here. So if you see, in most cases it's something like this. If correct email ID would have given a person would have given the correct email ID, then activation time would have taken 28.5. Yeah, sure. If incorrect email ID was given, the activation time would have increased to 43 hours, 28 hours here. So these details are provided. Now, the question is, what is the test that you have selected? What is the p-value for the test that you have conducted? Okay, so I'm going to basically stop here, Anush, because